Hey, what's up? My name is Nelson, and today I am talking about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Shang-Chi must confront the past he thought he left behind when he is drawn into the web of the mysterious Ten Ring organization. That's pretty much all I want to say without giving any spoilers. Alright, first off, I want to talk about how this movie looked. This movie looked so good. It is one of the most beautiful looking Marvel movies. From the scenery to all of the way the power-ups look from the rings and the all of the creatures throughout this movie. There's a lot of creatures in this movie, and the CGI just looks so good. This movie just in general, it looks so amazing. The actors in this movie. Alright. Shang-Chi, played by Simu Liu, was so good. They couldn't have gotten a better actor to play this part. I mean, he was just perfect for this role. I honestly feel like in the future, maybe not for a while, but I feel like in the future we're going to be like, this character should not be played by anybody else. You know, a lot like Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man. I mean, I'm not going to jump there already, but I really have a feeling that a lot of us are going to be like, this is the guy. This is Shang-Chi. And he played this role so well. He was so funny. He was very serious when he needed to be serious. It was just picking him to play this part was just perfect. And I couldn't have asked for a better Shang-Chi. Aquafina as Katie. She was the life of the party in this movie. She was so funny. She was a lot of comedy relief throughout the movie. And again, she got real serious when she needed to get serious. She's just an amazing actress. When she walks into a room, it's like you know she's there, you know? She's amazing in this movie. I love her. Tony Leon Chauvet was really, really good as the Mandarin. I mean, he played this character very menacingly, and he did what he needed to do. The acting in this movie was incredible. I mean, pretty much everybody was great in this movie. The storyline was so beautiful. Just him growing up and being trained to basically be a killer was just the way Simu Liu played this character and how he just captivated, just how somebody would have went through something like that. It's very tragic. He was 7 years old, and his dad was training him to be a killer, and he sent him off at the age of 14 on a mission. But it shows all that, and then it shows, you know, his dad gave him 10 years to live his life and do what he wanted. And so he went to San Francisco and became a valet. And I love how it switches to something like that, very serious, and it switches over to them in San Francisco, and it gets a little bit more lighthearted, and and the music playing, you hear the rap music playing, and it really gets you into that. And I felt like it transitioned very, very well. And then you see him, and he wakes up, goes to work, and you meet Aquafina's character, Katie, in the movie. And I love the whole story and how, but something happens and he gets a letter that sends him off to his mother's homeland. And just this whole story and how it gets to the point where it needs to be. And that bus scene you see in the trailer where he fights Razor Fist, oh my goodness, man. It was just, that was a good ass action scene. I loved it. The fight choreography in this movie is amazing. Oh my gosh. It's so good. Like it has got to be the best fighting in an MCU movie ever. I mean, I really love Captain America Winter Soldier. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I love the fight choreography in this, but this movie really caps it off on that. I mean, obviously, Marvel knows what they're doing. You're going to do martial arts movie, do it right, and they did. I'm not gonna say who's all in this movie, but there is some pretty cool cameos throughout this movie. I don't want to get too much into it. And there is 2 post-credit scenes. Post-credit scenes in this movie, so there's not just one. Stick around. If you do go see it, stick around for a bit and see the second one. They are both pretty important for the MCU. But the humor in this movie is just amazing. It's MCU doing their thing. And you know that feeling you get when you go and see a Marvel MCU movie? Just that feeling like, I'm at an MCU movie. I haven't felt that way since Endgame. I mean, yeah, I love all these Marvel TV shows. I loved WandaVision. I loved Loki. I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier a lot. And I like Black Widow a lot. But I haven't had that Marvel feeling in a long, long time. And watching this movie, I just felt that excitement for being at the cinema watching a Marvel movie. It was there, and it was just perfect. And I love what Marvel can do with their subgenres. I mean, with Captain America: Winter Soldier, you got yourself a spy thriller. With Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, we're bringing in some horror. In this, we brought in some martial arts, and they do it so well. It's just everything Marvel does is usually perfect. And when they do have a slight hiccup, it never does matter too much because they do it so perfectly. And this movie is no exception. It's done so well. And I love seeing other cultures in the MCU. You know, we got Black Panther, seeing that culture, and now we get the Chinese culture in the MCU. It's nice to see some diversity, a little more diversity in the MCU, and I'm loving that. For my nitpicks, it isn't a whole lot. Basically, this movie is a very, very dialogue-heavy movie. And I love some dialogue-heavy movies. If they keep me on my toes and keep me entertained. And this movie, for the most part, the dialogue really did keep me entertained. I loved most of what was going on, but towards a little bit of the middle of the movie, just a tad bit, I did feel slightly like it was dragged a little bit, but not a lot. And I felt a slight bored, but only for a few minutes, and we were right back at it. I really didn't like the character Razor Fist too much. I really thought he was just kind of bland. He didn't have a whole lot to say. He was kind of just like this broody character that just kind of, and I didn't really like his character too much. I mean, his fighting was awesome, like in the bus scene in the beginning of the movie. I just didn't feel the need for him too much, besides the fact that he had an awesome, blade for an arm, Other than that, I didn't really think he was too great for this movie. But, also, I feel like the PG-13 rating kind of holds it back a little bit. I know I do say this a lot for movies, and I'm not trying to sit here on my channel and say every movie needs to be rated R, but a martial arts movie with all of the killing that happens in this movie, I really feel like it should have been rated R. I'm not saying I want it to be F-bomb, F-bomb, F-bomb throughout the movie, but it would have been nice to see a little more of blood and there's killing in this movie. So, that's very small nitpicks, but for the most part, I love this movie. For my score, I'm going to give it a 90%. This was so much fun. It was something I really, really needed, just for the MCU, for the most part, yeah, it has its dark moments and stuff, which is done real well, but it was really lighthearted, and it's just cool to go to the movies and actually see a really cool, lighthearted, action-filled movie. So, I really, really enjoyed this movie. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at NelsonReviews. Follow me on Letterboxd at Nelson48. Peace out.